All right, here we go. We have the black guy vaccine back on TLOY. How are you doing today, man?
Sir, yes, sir, man. How you doing, man? I'm pretty good, man. I appreciate you having me again. It's been a minute, man. We had a dope interview the first time. We had to make it happen again. It was only right.
Yeah, man. It's perfect timing right there. Like the last time we spoke was like October, like around October of like 2021. So like a lot of like changes since then, for like both cities and like for everything else too for us and all that, and here we
Yeah.
are right now. Like you've cut your dreads and all that, dropped a new project, so it's like only up from there and all that,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yeah, nah, definitely a lot changed, man. Yeah, man. What you said, like you said, 21. Yeah, a lot changed. Definitely a lot changed with the city, with me. With the sound. Some of everything, man. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, man. So for people tuning in, so the Black Vaccine recently dropped a new project called The Poor Millionaire and all that. It's out now on Audio Mac, where you could access it, listen to it, and everything else too. And I want to speak about it right now. So, what was like the inspiration and creative process for that project, and what was like the concept behind the title of that project?
Let me see what I'm gonna start with. Uh, I say the inspiration. I start with the inspiration, man. Honestly, the inspiration really was just life. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, we haven't spoke since 2021, and life has been happening since then. A lot changed in my life. A lot happened. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Where it inspired the project. It really just came to me one day. Like even just the title itself, it really just came to me because it was like uh, I was at a point in my life where I was trying to do the most with the least. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the poor millionaire gained its birth. And I mean a lot of people look at it's kind of self-explanatory when you look at it, poor millionaire. It's kind of like the Bob Marley when he was having an interview, and I think the reporter asked him, was he rich? And he was like, "What do you mean, riches?" He was like, "Well, if you talking about money, then nah, I'm not rich like that. But if we talking about soul, you know what I'm saying, then I'm rich." So it's kind of that. It is some of that, but for the most part, it's like getting it out the mud for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, trying to create the best and not even just create beyond the music. You're trying to live at your highest, you know what I'm saying, expectation with life. You know what I'm saying? Being at the lowest at the moment. So that's really where the inspiration came from. As far as the creative mindset, it's like it was more so I really had something to say. So I wasn't really too on the okay, let me figure out what it sound like. But at the same time, I was thinking about the audience. I was thinking about the new sound. So I added some of that in there. But for the most part, it was kind of like it was however I was feeling, because I produce, I play the guitar, and I write my own songs. So one week I may be in the studio just playing the guitar all week. The next week I might be writing all week. The next week I might just be recording. So it's all based off how I was feeling, man. To be honest, as far as the creative process.
Nah, most definitely and all that. And anyone can like access that like on AudioMac, or are there like other platforms as well?
Oh yeah, it's on all platforms, man. All streaming platforms. As well as my last project. I had to go on all streaming platforms. I don't know. I just like Audio Mac. Audio Mac was kind of like it also speaks on the poor millionaire thing. It's like that's why I started because it was free. When I first started putting out music, it's like I got Audio Mac. It's free. I can push it out. That's kind of like a poor millionaire concept there as well. So it's crazy that you mentioned that, but nah, it's definitely on all platforms.
Nah, for sure. And like just like in this aspect too, like mind, body, soul, like in that sense too, do you feel like in all of those like free aspects right there, are you kind of like rich in like mindset and in soul and in like the body and all that in that sense too, or
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, at least I try to be, and that's kind of like the pulling and tugging. When you one way, in the world another way, now you got to try to find a medium between the two. See what I'm saying? Because you don't want to seem weird. You don't want to seem like a loner. You don't want to seem like you acting funny. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So, yeah, definitely, definitely.
most definitely, in one of the lines on Go Talk Part 2, you said, "My brother job is police, but we don't call the police." So like in that sense too, what's your stance like on the police and like systemic racism from the police and police brutality? And do you have like a different sense of respect for police since like your brother is like a police officer?
Uh, I mean, for me, honestly, you know, I mean, I try to stay out the way. Let me just say that. You know what I'm saying? But we all coming from when you come from an environment like I come from, you know what I'm saying, like Memphis, you always gonna get a certain feeling when you see the police. You know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't gotta have no drugs on you, you gotta be doing anything. But like when you see the police, you get this feeling in your stomach. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like getting on a roller coaster. You know, I've been trying to get over there, but it's like, you know, I ain't been in the streets in a while, I ain't been in trouble in a while, but I still get that same feeling. You know, so it's mixed feelings for me. You know, at the end of the day, anybody get in a situation, 9 times out of 10, it may be the first person they call. You see what I'm saying? So it's a bittersweet thing. I mean, with my brother, if he would have came to me and said, "Oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Do you support it?" I would have said, "I don't support it." Not downplaying any police officer, just my personal opinion. You know, just come from where we come from. That's the last thing that I expected him to do. See what I'm saying? But I definitely respect it because at the end of the day, like I said, it's all based on who's behind the badge and not just the badge. You feel what I'm saying? I know my brother a good dude, he's a solid dude. So, you know, that right there adds some respect to different in other cops because I'm like, my brother this way, I'm quite sure everybody else got family members who just decided, like, hey, I'm finna give it a chance. You know, so kudos to him. Getting pepper sprayed and all that, getting tased. He sent me some videos, man. That shit was so funny. I'm like, boy, you better than me. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Get spit in the face and nah, man, ain't no way. Mm-mm. No, sir.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. And I know like in like this situation right now, in Memphis, there was like a person that actually did pass away from police brutality, Tyree Nickel, and it was six black cops that kind of like attacked him and then put him to death and all that in that sense too. And it sparked like a widespread like protest like all throughout the world and all that, just like in that one area of like Memphis and like just like from all over, so how did you react to that situation about the whole Tyree Nichols situation and with all of the officers arrested, and charged with murder, like being black, and I don't know if it had like an effect on you and like the people like in the city as well too.
Uh, I say it definitely had an effect on the city, just for the simple fact because it's been darkness in the city before this even happened. You know what I'm saying? So with that happening, it just added more to people's mindset of we all we got. Like y'all don't give a fuck about us. You know what I'm saying? For me personally, like I said, I try to stay away from it. You know what I mean? To me, it's just the same thing, different city. You get what I'm saying? It's just like what it say, the George Floyd, all that. It's just the same thing, different city. You know what I mean? So uh, it kind of gets to the point where you get numb to it. But at the same time, when it happened that close to home, it hits different. It's kind of like death. You hear somebody, they say, "Oh, my mama died, my whatever, whoop de whoop." You be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," or whatever, whatever. But you don't really feel it until you in that situation. Now you like, damn, don't nobody feel sorry for me. But now you gotta understand, it don't hit there until it's close to home. So it's definitely an unfortunate thing. You know what I mean? The six black cops. I mean, all that just, they just add more to it. It's like, damn. First we thought it was just them. Now it's us doing it to us, and it's like, who do we got? Who do we trust? So yeah, it definitely sparked a different mindset in the city, man.
And like like you already mentioned on how like the idea of police kind of like changed your perspective and all that, but do you feel like there might be some change in like how these situations could be handled, with the police department and like the people like in the city and all that, or do you feel like it takes time and growth to make sure that it gets to a point where people would have to understand like that this situation always happens like regardless?
Both. I say that both. You know what I'm saying? Because like what you just said is kind of like the same thing. Like it might be some change, yeah. It can be some change, but at the same time, yeah, it does take time and growth. Teaching the old dog new tricks. You know what I'm saying? You taking a wild animal, a wild lizard. Like me, I got pet lizards and everything. Like you got to break it, you got to tame it and get it used to being in the house. See what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Long as effort is being made to it, it can happen and it will happen. So that's all it really is. Like we don't know. We're not behind the scenes. We don't pull the strings. We don't make the calls. But if those people making those calls, pulling those strings, yeah, it's gonna happen. But at the same time, it's not gonna be 100% peace. Just like we're not gonna stop. You know what I mean? Like you wake up, you get mad. You wake up, you upset. Things happen. People have emotions. So people gonna keep dying. Police gonna keep killing people. Like because you don't understand until you in that situation. Like I had a police pull me over one time, and he was more scared than I was. He's sitting there, he's shaking, like literally shaking. You know what I'm saying? But we around hundreds of people. Like, why are you so nervous? You get what I'm saying? And you really can't. I don't know if you can train you see what I'm saying? If you can train that mindset, you can't. You see what I'm saying? No matter how much they do, how many ways they change, whatever they do, you're not gonna change a person who they are. If you're a shaky person, if you're scared of a certain type of thing, it's hard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, most definitely. Just getting back into the music in that sense too, like on the same song you said, in this since '93 record deal at 19. Tell me about the record deal that you used to have before in that sense.
uh yeah, see the record deal 19, it was I won't say the label name. I usually don't use my artist name that I was using when I do the interviews, but I will say it. I was going by the name Young Memphis for anybody who want to look it up. You know what I mean? To verify the things that I'm about to say that's coming up. But yeah, I was signed to a label at 19, man. It was around the time Thugs just came out, Rich Homie Quan was just coming out. Drake was really finding himself being Drake. You know what I mean? But I was putting in work, man. I had a single called Chunk Up the Deuces. I was number 4 on the urban radio. Uh, number 10 or 19 on was it the pop side? I was number 1 on the internet radio, Source Magazine, Double XL Magazine. Uh, it's just the situation wasn't right, man. It's one of them things where it's kind of like I think I was saved from a situation like a Pooh Shiesty situation or a 6ix9ine situation where you got all this around you that's gonna mess you up. You know what I'm saying? Because I was young, 19, signed to the record label. You know what I'm saying? Hanging with some street niggas. You know what I'm saying? Out in the street myself. We was wild. You feel what I'm saying? So it was like it came to a point where I realized, like, damn, something ain't right. You know what I mean? I'm like, something ain't right. The record label called me because I was signed, I think I was signed for like 3 albums, but he called me and he was like, it's time to resign. I'm like, why it's time to resign? Because I only did 1 album. You see what I'm saying? So that made me be like, okay, let me holler at somebody take a look at this contract. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when I signed the label, when I signed the record deal, I was homeless. I ain't had nowhere to go. I was in Atlanta by myself. My partner, his pops owned the record label. They knew I was fucked up. So what they did was they bought me a crib, everything, before I even signed. Left me in that motherfucker, man, with the contract. You know what I'm saying? No money in my pocket or nothing. It's kind of like, what you gonna do? We give you this home. I'm like, fuck it. You see what I'm saying? So I signed the deal, not looking over the contract. You know what I mean? So it was some things in there that should have been discussed and been handled. So I just decided to get out the situation, man. But it was crazy because it was a big decision because it was 2 weeks I was gonna go perform on BET Music Matters. 2 weeks before the time I decided to jump out. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I still to this day I be like, damn, should I you know what I'm saying? Should have did it or the woo. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like I said, I was being saved from a lot of, man, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of murder, a lot of shystiness, stealing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know if I'd be here right now, to be honest with you, dog. Like for real, for real.
No, no, I definitely know what you mean and all that. And I've seen like how like certain labels would treat like certain artists and all that, as well as like even artists who own record labels on how they treat artists and all that. Because that situation was sort of similar to like the Young Buck situation before G Unit when he was trying to get signed to like Juvenile and all that, and then when that situation happened, Juvenile kind of like just missed the ball and all that and dropped everything on all that, and kind of had like a weird effect on Buck, that his label situation got worse, so 50 had to kind of help out. So I don't know if it was like sort of similar to that, or would it be like sort of different?
Uh I mean, it was sort of similar, but at the same time, it was more so of a, I don't know. That's why I'm saying it's so crazy, bro. Where it's like it really wasn't too many red flags. It was just something deep inside of me telling me to get out the contract. You know what I'm saying? Like the only red flag that came to me was when he called me telling me it was time to resign. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really too much craziness going on, cause like I said, like it was good, bro. Like I was really making noise. Like to be honest with you, this is gonna sound crazy, but if it wasn't for me, bro, Offset would not have his famous line on Bad and Bougie. He say, "We do the most, pull up and ghost." And let me tell you where that came from. I had a song, and I ain't gonna name drop. I am gonna name drop the producer who produced it. Southside 808 Mafia produced this song. You know what I mean? But he ain't really got nothing. He ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But I want you to know that he produced the song. Like that's where I was at with it. Like I was making moves. And a very, 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 very known Atlanta artist got an artist who stole my song, took everything and put it out, and the song went crazy. You know what I mean? And that's where Offset. See, I ain't gonna when we get done recording, I'll break it all down to you. You know what I mean? Just out of respect for the whole everything, the whole situation. But I'm gonna really break it. I'm gonna send you the receipts, show you how my song came out first, how you know what I'm saying, how everything was, and you're gonna see what I'm coming from. Like it's blatant. Like they literally took my flow, everything, but I'm gonna tell you the only difference that they did. You know, that thug and that gunner sound now, like the laid back sound, but they talking some gangster shit, but the beat smooth. They switched it up. See, my beat was a hard ass beat, like the original Southside shit, like down there like some Take Keith shit. But they switched it up, put the Atlanta sound on it, and went crazy with it. You know, but I'm gonna send you the receipts for all that when we get done recording. But nah, for real, bro. If it wasn't for me, like that wouldn't even, you know what I mean? But that's how real it was. Where that's why I'm like, it was really something inside me that made me get out of the contract. You know what I mean? Like I said, and then on down the years went by, I'll start getting phone calls about the record label, one of the owners stealing money and doing all this. So, you know, that's how I knew it was a lot of shicey stuff going on where I didn't really know, but something inside of me was telling me like, nah, bro.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you know, to speak more on one of your other songs, to EEAO, you said, "How did Pops get over that bottle? Alcoholic turned into a snouter, crack pipe turned into that powder. Sunshine came after the showers."
Oh, yes.
So, like about your father, so speak more on your father's drug and alcohol addiction, and you know how that kind of like started, like in that sense.
Uh, man, yeah, that was growing up in Memphis, man. I had plenty of family members, uncles, pops, sprung out on cocaine, um, crack, alcohol. You know, my pops, he used to go to North Memphis, man. And he didn't know, he didn't think we knew what was going on, but he used to go to North Memphis, smoke crack with my uncle. Me and my brother used to be in the truck. And it's funny, 'cause we always used to had this one junkie used to come up to the car asking for sandwiches, man. You know what I'm saying? But nah, like I used to be there, like we used to know what was going on. And it'd be times where my mom, they fighting, they put him out, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like me being young, I just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this my pops. I used to cry like, man, let my daddy back in the house. You know what I'm saying? Woo woo woo. But I give him his props though, cause it's like everybody don't bounce back from that. You know what I mean? Like I got an uncle right now, 60, almost 70, he smoke crack like I smoke weed. You know what I mean? Like he go about his day just like a normal person. He ain't no junkie. You know what I'm saying? He not on the streets, he ain't homely, but he just smoke crack because it's hard to bounce back. You know what I mean? But my pops bounced back. He started smoking crack. You know what I mean? And then that's when the alcohol kicked in. For me, I think that was just something he got from his pops. You know what I mean? Cause my granddaddy, he was like, man, he was alcoholic. That man was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like real gangster. He man, drunk, alcoholic. So that really rubbed off on my pops, and he got into the alcohol, man. And it was like, he was a different dude. You feel me? That was it. Like he was a different dude, but I still give him his props because he was able to overcome. He was able to still take care of her. He was able to still go to work for himself for 40 years, not have to work for nobody else. You know what I mean? And then he overcame it all. He stopped drinking. He stopped smoking crack. You know what I mean? So it's like I give him his props for that. You know, and that's really was like for that song. It was like that's what people ask, but at the same time in that song, I was really asking myself like, how did Pops get over the bottle? You know what I'm saying? Alcoholic turned into a snorter. Crack pipe turned into that powder. He was snorting powder. He was doing crack. Like you got to have a real strong mindset to really be able to, you know what I mean, overcome all three of those, my guy.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And like in Memphis, like especially with the music scene, like a lot of people were open to talking about like drug use and all that, whether like they're dealing or whether like they're using and all that. Like I know like Free Six Mafia, like a lot of like the artists from there were talking about like using like hard drugs back then, and then like
Oh yeah, Player Fly, man. Yeah, Player Fly.
and all that, and it's even like relatable to the new school and all that, where they're talking about taking Percocets, taking Xanax, and everything else too. So, like, was that drug culture like very prevalent, like in Memphis, in terms of like
Oh yeah.
how like poverty was like kind of formed and everything else going on too?
Oh yeah. Far the poverty, I'm only 30, so I can't really speak on, what I'm saying, how I got to it. But growing up from just being around, like I said, uncles and cousins and different artists like Player Fly, like he, what I'm saying, he snort powder. He let the world know. You know what I mean? Like it used to be a thing. Like he'll make songs about it. You know what I'm saying? He'll call himself the Coney King of Funky Town. You know what I mean? Like they get the cone because you know how you roll the dollar up to in a cone. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we call coning. So it's like we came up with a saying for that shit where it's like we walking down the street, we see somebody high off powder, we be like, man, that man coned out. You know what I mean? So it's it definitely was a part of it. You was used to it. You know what I'm saying? If it affected you, you ain't know or you didn't care because you was so a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, most definitely. And just speaking into like one of these other songs that you have right now on the project, TITMMOTW. Like I think like it's already abbreviated like in the song, but you said I can see the pain for the eyes of Big Scar. So tell me more about that inspiration and meaning behind that song, and can you explain that line for further insight on hip hop's like drug use in that sense?
Yeah, man, one day, like I said, I'll get into it even deeper, but it was like I was just in the bathroom, bro, just looking in the mirror, but I was just seeing all the darkness in myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the song came from. Today I took my mirrors off the wall, where it's like I don't want to look in the mirror because it's either gonna make me feel bad or it's gonna make me feel too proud. You know what I mean? It's gonna result in too much pride. Uh, and like with Big Scar, it's like when I used to watch his videos, his lives and stuff. Like when you hang around certain people, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, I had my mama and my pops growing up. Like I said, my pops was on dope, but he stayed around. You feel me? But I got homies who pops in prison, who mama dead, who pops dead, who they don't know they pops, they don't know they mama. And so you get used to seeing that silent cry. You get what I'm saying? So when I used to watch his videos, and still to this day, when I watch his videos, you can see it. You know what I mean? Like you can see it in his eyes, like you can see the pain. So that's why I'm like, I can see the pain through the eyes of Big Scar, but pills will never frame what you hiding in your heart. It's like no matter how much you take the drugs, you may not notice it, but people on the outside still can see the pain. Like you can't cover it up. You know what I mean? And I feel like the main reason for a lot of that is vanity. You know what I'm saying? Or hatred towards yourself because you always judging yourself. Cause you steady looking at yourself. Damn, I'm skinny. Damn, my clothes ain't this. You know what I'm saying? Like my hair like this and that. You know what I mean? But if you just go by life not focusing on that, you'll be all right. So yeah, that's why. I mean, that's really like my favorite song off the album because it's like that's really where all the inspiration for the whole project came from. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And rest in peace to Big Scar too. Like I know especially with situations like his, with the whole like accident like overdose and all that, and then Gangsta Boo just died like on like New Year's Day and all that, with speculations of like drug use and all that. And these like recent deaths like coming from like three of like the biggest like artists like out of Memphis, Big Scar, Gangsta Boo, and then Young Dolph, who got murdered while getting cookies. So how did you react to those deaths and like some of those like incarcerations like going on, like the whole Pusha IC situation, the Mac Critter one too, like even like from those artists? And do you feel that this rise and fall might take a toll for the worst in the city, or do you feel like it can like be like overcome like in that sense too, like from other people like putting in the work?
Man, I'm gonna start with the last question. It's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard. It's gonna be hard. Like some people gonna make it out, but it's always gonna be darkness over the city. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you get what you put out. Like when you ride through Memphis, man, I'm gonna be 100 with you. You don't see nothing that's beautiful. That's death. You get what I'm saying? Like, so if you fill a city with light, I mean, with death, or if a city filled with death, it's gonna be death. You know what I mean? If you fill a city with light, like the city ain't full of trees, the city ain't full of nice plants and flowers and nice stores and shit like that. Nah, the city ain't full of nothing but darkness. So it's gonna be hard to break out of that. And then speaking on the death of the artist, like that definitely fuck up the city. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like the one who fucked up the city the most and the one that fucked with me the most was Dolph. And I'm gonna tell you why, because okay, with Gotti, Gotti hard, Gotti always been hard. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody always been fucking with Gotti, but time goes by and a new era is created. You get what I'm saying? So the city looked at Dolph is like the inspiration. You see what I'm saying? Because Dolph was in reach, which was a good thing and a bad thing. But Dolph was in reach, man. You could be riding down the highway and you look, you gonna see Dolph car. You know what I'm saying? You could be at the store. Dolph will walk in the store, man, and pay for all your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like with Dolph, that shit hit different. Like for me, it hit different, like, because it's like, damn, it's so close to home. And for two, it's like that was inspiration. Like you see a nigga doing it like that, you like, yeah, man, that man, he's straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we got potential. We can do this shit. If Dolph can do this shit, man, we can do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the city was feeling. So when Dolph died, I know a lot of niggas lost hope, especially a lot of young niggas. You know what I'm saying? Which added more darkness to the city. Cause now nigga going crazy, young nigga going crazy. They like, shit, fuck, nigga kill Dolph, man, nigga kill anybody. Especially when it on some hating shit. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, it's like that shit upset me. Like with upset at Dolph type shit and upset at the niggas who did it, but more upset like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you smart as fuck, bro. You a real street nigga. You know how to move, fool. Like damn, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you know you got too comfortable. You feel me? So it's kind of a gift and a curse, bro. You know what I'm saying? Being that close to your city, being that reachable, but at the same time, I know what Dolph wanted to do is what he did. He wanted to inspire niggas. You know what I'm saying? Dolph looked at it like, man, everybody else who popping in the M, they don't fuck with the M like that. They lead the M. Or when they come to the M, they in a different status. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like it's on subject, off subject, like the new Wu-Tang shit. Me and my old lady, we was watching the show. And on that John RZA wasn't trying to be on a tour bus with the other artists. And she like, what's wrong with that? I'm like, because he an artist too. I'm like, bro, you can't make your niggas feel like you above them. So for Dolph was, nigga, I'm gonna be on this tour bus with the artists. You know what I'm saying? Dolph is Dolph, and the other artists of Wu-Tang is like the city of Memphis. Dolph was like, fuck it, I'm riding on the tour bus with y'all niggas. You know what I mean? So that's really what it was. So Dolph really fucked the city up, man. Like, for real. It really fucked the city up.
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean too, and I know like the city is good right now. Like I think ever since the start, with like Yo Gotti, Dolph, everyone else too, and then recently, with Pusha T, Glorilla, she's like a Grammy like award nominated like artist and all that, and with Hit Kid and Gloss Up and like everyone else too, like I think everyone's just doing their best to like be up and all that. Like a lot of them are either like mainstream or like on the rise of becoming mainstream. So like even in your opinion, like how do you feel about like the city right now, like in terms of the music scene?
Oh yeah, man, we going hard. Hey, but one thing for sure, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Memphis been out. We been going hard though. Like we been going hard since the 3-6, man. Since Tommy Rice the third, since the flies, like before the Instagram, before the social media, Memphis always been. Even though they just not giving us our credit, but we always inspire other cities. You know what I'm saying? We always inspire other cities like Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? All the surrounding cities and shit, man. They listening to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, we going crazy, man. Especially Gorilla. I fuck with Glorilla. Like, let me see what other female artists I fuck with. Like, I fuck with Megan, you know what I'm saying? But like with Glorilla is like the way how she coming, she cut from that cloth so you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about Memphis. Like, it don't matter if you're a female or a male, you gonna feel the same thing. You gonna reap the same shit everybody else reaping. See what I'm saying? So she able to talk about it in a different way. And she also able, and like with us, being from the M, like, we don't give a fuck. We don't care what nobody thinks. So she speak on a lot of shit that folk won't even talk about. You know what I'm saying? If they in that type of tax bracket or whatever. But yeah, man, Memphis definitely going crazy. I'm just adding to the flame.
All right. So this is like actually one of the most interesting questions that I actually just found out from a bit too. So after dropping "Oh Free Lil Wayne," you just took a break from social media and like music from that. So tell me more about why like you took a break and all that in that sense.
Man, it was it really wasn't even by choice. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bro, one day I just woke up, I was sick as fuck. Like physically. That was my first mind. It was my first thought was I'm physically sick as fuck. So I was going to doctor after doctor, bro. I was going to so many different type of doctor, heart doctor, throat doctors, regular doctors. Nobody could figure out what was wrong with me, bro. You know what I mean? But it was more of a mental thing, bro. It was more of a mental thing. So I just had to I had to tap out. I had to get off the social media. You know what I mean? I feel like life and God was forcing me to take a step back. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluate myself and also live life and let more shit happen to me. Give me more to talk about, more to rap about. You know what I'm saying? Like more to create about. Uh, like I said, so it was crazy, bro, because it was like for damn near man 6, 7 months, the shit was going on, and then boom, it went away. You know what I'm saying? And this shit was crazy, bro. Like real talk, and it just went away. I was good. Well, I wasn't feeling bad no more. Like what nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I dead ass thought, bro. I thought it was over with, fool. Like I thought I was passed away and shit. Like it was that real, bro. Like it was that serious. Where I'm like, bro, I gotta figure out what's wrong with me, bro. Before it's too late. Like I was going to so many doctors and shit. Like. You know what I mean? To the point, like, my junk, she like, man, you tripping, cut it out. Ain't nothing wrong with you, woo woo woo. But she see, like, I'm not myself, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had to take a break, man. I had to get away from the social media. I had to tap out, you know what I'm saying, and just cleanse, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm back in full effect, ready. I done live life, a lot of strife happening in between time, shit I speak on in certain songs. Like, what song that was? Black for President, you know what I mean? Like, shit, July last year, I watched my nephew dying, you know what I'm saying, of cancer. You feel me? Seen him for the last couple hours of his life. Like a lot of shit was happening where it fucked with me. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like this shit. I had to take it where okay, this shit all part of the plan, little bro. You know what I'm saying? Just talking to myself like it's all part of the plan, little bro. Like just soak it all up and put this shit on wax. You know what I'm saying? Put it on wax and just come harder. And that's where the poor millionaire. Like I said, the poor millionaire came out of strife, like trying to do a lot with a little. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, poor millionaire, like that's it. Like this what the fuck going on? Like you in that mindset. You got bullshit, but hey, mentally you ready now. Cause I took that break. I got myself right, and I was ready.
And most definitely, my condolences to your loved one, by the way, and all that. Cancer's like tough and all that either way too. And like I know, like with a lot of stuff going on, taking that time to decompress, trying new methods, it's a good way to kind of re-energize and get back into that whole like mode and all that too. So I don't know if you've had like other changes, like changing like your diet or changing like the way like you see life, like exercising or going for walks and all that. I don't know if you tried doing that to kind of like kind of get like in a more positive.
I had to. Yeah, that was what was helping me get back right. Like I said, I was going to so many doctors and all this and all that, and it was so crazy because it was like a double-edged sword, bro. Because it was like I was so sick, quote unquote, sick that I didn't want to leave the house, which made it even worse because now I'm stuck in the house, not going out, getting no sunlight, not going out, getting no fresh air. You see what I'm saying? So like it was really like a double-edged sword. But yeah, I started doing that, man. Cause like, I mean, for me anyway, I mean, I'm a nature type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I like being outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the I'm from the Memphis. Like other people in Mississippi are called Memphis the city, man, but Memphis country is hell. I'm from the country. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like. But yeah, man, it's all working process though. You know, I'm still trying to get right. I'm still learning myself. You know what I mean? I'm still learning about life, so I'm just trying to change what I can. And I have to tell myself, like, bro, you gotta accept not what you can't change, but you gotta accept who you are right now. Make your note. Don't get comfortable, but don't get mad at yourself, cause you gotta realize you're gonna make that mistake. You say you're gonna stop doing this, you might do that shit again. You know what I mean? But the goal is to, be 100%. But I know this shit take time. You got people 65, 70 just figuring this shit out. But it's all based off what you put into it, the energy you put into it, man. Honestly.
Almost definitely. I know that we already talked about this, like within like the last questions, but there's this term that's like coined in your city, like a dark cloud, in Memphis, based on like the whole like idea of like darkness and all that. So, how do you feel about that specific term, like in that sense too, and that's like coined for your city in that sense?
Shit, I ain't lying. And what I can't, I mean, it ain't a lie. I mean, it's sad because, man, Memphis got so much knowledge, man. Memphis got some jewels. Like, we got some great people in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't got the choice to be great because you gotta live life. You don't got the chance to be great. Let me say that wrong word. Then we got the chance to be great because you gotta live life. And living life Memphis is facing the darkness or being dark just so you can survive. You know what I mean? It's so many times where I can run into a nigga when he by himself, and then when you with some other niggas, he two different people. You know what I'm saying? I could be posted at the store, you coming up, you saying what's up to me, I'm at the store outside just chilling. Then the next time you come, you with woo de woo, you don't say nothing, you mugging. Cause you with your nigga, cause you feel like that's what you gotta do. And then who knows if your niggas thinking the same way? It's kind of like it's like we feel like you gotta be dark when you in the M. Because at the end of the day, you got people who are like that by no choice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all they know. So they ain't trying to be great. They just want to be on some murder, kill shit. And they living it and they dying about it. Broad daylight, mama house, grandma house, it don't matter. That's like what they own. So you like to protect myself from them type of niggas and protect my family from them. Oh, I'm gonna get on this gangster shit too then. It might not be what I want to do. If I'm here, I'm gonna be on this shit or I'm gonna get out the city. And not too many people get out the city because you ain't got no opportunity. You selling dope, you kicking doors. You know what I'm saying? You working at fast food. You ain't getting nowhere with that shit, man. Dead or in jail or, you know what I mean? Moving backwards, to be honest.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. And it's interesting to see like from that perspective too, because like I've never realized like how intense and how important like that term's like so coined, because when people think about Memphis, they're thinking about the barbecue and all that. They're thinking about the whole country music, like
nah, too, and, like, nah. I ain't gonna lie, they don't think about that, and that's what's so fucked up. I could be the squarest nigga on earth, G. I can be. I ain't never done nothing to nobody. The scariest nigga on earth. I walk into another city and tell a motherfucker I'm from Memphis. They instantly, he on some gangster shit. Oh, he woo de woo. See what I'm saying? Like, that's the messed up part about it, because what you said, maybe people 30, 35, 40 look at Memphis and be like, okay, yeah, even with them, they don't even look at Memphis, think about it. See, that's the problem, the barbecue and the blues and shit, that shit died. Don't nobody think about that no more. First thing they think about is gangster shit everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? out in Texas. I go somewhere. Oh, I know about Memphis boy. I know about the Memphis boy. They don't play. How you know? You ain't never been there. You just going on what you heard, even though it may be true. But that's the fucked up part about it. That's the first thing coming to their head is darkness. Motherfucker be scared of you just because you said you from Memphis. You know what I'm saying?
And all that. And just like with our next two questions, we just only have like two like final questions for a bit. Uh,
Right.
have you felt like did you feel like you've grown like as an artist from like the start of wanting to become like an artist and all that, like having those aspirations until now where you have like a lot of like bodies of work like in that sense too?
Yeah, I say I've grown a lot. Uh, Definitely, as far as like the mindset and what I want out of it. It's like in the beginning of it, young days, when I first started rapping like 10, 11, it was always a point to prove I want to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Me seeing the Weezes online. I mean, not online, on TV. I'm talking about online. We watching BET and shit. Me seeing Wayne on TV, on video, 3 6 Mafia, like, I was like, yeah, that's what I want. I mean, so that part, kind of it stuck with me. It's still with me. So that what makes my craft grow. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm growing every time. Like with the guitar, I picked up the guitar 2 years ago. Growth, it's still growth coming. Producing this and that is still growth. But like for what I want out of it, it definitely changed. Like for me, I'm really using this shit for a door. To open the door. You know what I'm saying? I really want to be more on the back end. I want to be songwriting. I want to be producing, playing the guitar, go on tour with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like when they do their live shows in a concert, they need a guitar player. Like I'm trying to be that guy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm just using myself as the front man to get in. But yeah, I definitely I see the growth all the time. That's really one reason why I can't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been doing this shit since 10 and 11. And you know what I mean? I'm still I feel like I'm still that poor millionaire. I'm still working with a little to get a lot. I could have been gave up. You know what I mean? But the growth keep me going.
No, for sure. Like I definitely like agree too. Like I have seen like a notice in, the drive and like, you releasing your music and all that, still dropping like bodies of work, like even after like everything going on too. And like I feel like that's what drives, people to some sort of uniqueness too. Like even with an artist from Memphis too, like you could like even say that about like, Free Six Mafia, like they've been making music since like the early 90s and all that, like late 80s, early 90s. And they didn't really get full recognition like within like the general public until them until they got like their Oscar nomination and winning for their soundtrack for like the Oscars and all that too. And then like even from that, like it's still like an amazing thing to see too. And like even with Glorilla too and all that, like her like releasing that single for like that very first time like back in like 2021 back in like 2022 actually, when she was like dealing with like a lot of like hardships too, and then seeing that song grow and like even like being like nominated for a Grammy for that song too. Like it's crazy to see like with like Memphis artists too, because they have that drive to kind of battle through like the darkness and all that, and go through these like trials and tribulations like regardless, so.
Yeah, hey, and that's you know what I'm saying. It's dope that you noticed that, bro. Like that's really dope that you noticed that, cause that's one thing about the city. You gonna make it or you ain't. You know what I'm saying? That's what that pain gonna do to you. That's what that bullshit gonna do to you. It's gonna make you go super hard. It's gonna create a monster in a good way or a bad way. You know what I mean? So that's dope that you noticed that, my guy.
Most definitely. And just to kind of like end off the interview right here, like aside from you releasing like your project and all that, which you already like released, it's all out now on all platforms. Is there like a rollout for like a release like for the project and all that, like in terms of other like endeavors and so forth, and like everything else going on like in terms of shows and all that? And do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say?
Oh yeah, as far as the project, man, I'm working. I can say that I'm working. I'm working, man. Like that's the inspiration from Dolph. Dolph used to drop so many mixtape back to back every 1 month, 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm on. I ain't used to be like that. I record a lot. You know, so I make a lot of music, but it's kind of like I sit on my shit because I overthink it. You know what I mean? And when I took my break, I realized like, nah, bro, just release that shit. Cause everybody gon' if they having a bad day, they not gonna like your shit anyway. You get what I'm saying? If they just got married, they might love your shit, right then and there, but they may get in an argument later on and then they might hate your shit. So I had to realize I just got to put it out. You know what I'm saying? So the Poor Millionaire just dropped. I'm finna be working on some videos to come off there. Today I took my mirror off the wall, shooting a visual to that. To the Go Talk Part 2, we shoot a visual to that. And then it's off, you know what I'm saying? It's really based off the audience demand. You know what I'm saying? If I see something pop, then we going with it. But it's like, it's 2023 now. I've been studying the game. You know, music videos ain't really working like that. I ain't gonna say they're not working, but it's like, be smart with your money. You know what I mean? So I'm more so on the dropping little snippets and shit like this on YouTube shorts and stuff like that. But I'm finna be working, man, the whole 23 and beyond. I'm finna be dropping back to back like crazy, man. Like I'm finna be that '03 Lil Wayne. For real, for real.
Nah, most definitely, man. Black vaccine and all that. It's a pleasure having you back. To even going deep on like just like with the project and even with Memphis in general too, because we never really talked about Memphis like that, like in the last interview. So like having this like full on discussion about Memphis, like from the ground roots until now, it's very interesting to see and all that. And for people watching, go stream that project, Poor Millionaire, like on all platforms. So.
Yes, sir. Poor Millionaire everywhere, man. Just get it out the mud.
All right, man. Until next time, same thing as always. Like, wish nothing but peace and success for you from here on out. And, until next time, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Signing you. Keep working.